I've always told you the two best NFL quarterback prospects I've ever seen in college are John Elway and Andrew Luck. I am not being hyperbolic here. This kid's number 3, and I think he's better than Andrew Luck. He is certainly much better than Andrew Luck as a freshman. I texted 3 different NFL executives last night, and I posed the question to each of them. I said, if Trevor Lawrence, 6'6", 220 and mobile, was available in the NFL draft as a true freshman, all texted back he would go number 1. And they said, Colin, as good as the quarterbacks were last year, he's better than all of them too. Darnold, Baker, Lamar, Josh. Stop trying to convince me, all you college football fans, that your tiny runaround college quarterback's going to change the league, bruh. No. Trevor Lawrence, 6'6", can change the league. I like Tua. He'll play in the NFL. He's not changing anything. I like Kyler Murray. He can play in the NFL. He's not changing the league. This kid is an all-time talent. And I don't say that much. I mostly tell you your quarterbacks aren't going to be great. You know how much I like Sam Darnold? He's not close to this.
Clemson is coming out with the freshman phenom Trevor Lawrence.
Ultimately, it would be to play in the NFL, but I mean, that can't always happen. So I want to get to college and then get my education and then see what happens after that.
I like Lawrence. I'm a Trevor Lawrence guy. You know, I saw him in high school.
I saw him play at 17 in a high school camp. He is the best high school quarterback talent I think I've probably ever seen.
You've been a 5-star already. What do you think about that type of accolade at such a young age?
I think it's pretty cool. Definitely proves that hard work pays off. But I don't pay too much attention to it because I still got to come out here like today and do good because there's a lot of other quarterbacks out here.
And then all of a sudden, when things break down, guys, that's when it gets exciting, because this is one of those players that looks like he's just going to throw it from within the pocket, and then he creates and extends, and that's what makes him so dangerous. And it's why they are a 2-time defending state champ here at Cartersville.
Yeah, you know, I don't like to compare guys. I mean, I can just tell you, just got every tool that you could possibly want. I mean, but physically, it's rare that you see a guy come in so ready. I mean, he started as a 9th grader, so I'll be very surprised if once we get into the meetings, if his aptitude is not off the charts. You know, Trevor's just physically further along than any, you know, freshman quarterback.
Clemson's sincerity and what they kind of wanted me to get out of Clemson, not what they wanted to get out of me, I think was a big thing that gravitated me towards Clemson.
And now Trevor Lawrence has entered the game, number 16 for the Tigers, the freshman from Cartersville, Georgia.
Lawrence going up top, and his first pass is complete, and it might be a touchdown to T. Higgins if he's got enough gas. Welcome to the big time, Trevor Lawrence. 64 yards.
Trevor Lawrence, 9 of 15, 137, 3 tutties, as you like to say. One of the biggest conversations going into this entire summer was what's Clemson's plan at quarterback. And so they come out with a guy in Kelly Bryant that's won a lot for him, that didn't particularly play well at times, and then they come out against the hot guy in Trevor Lawrence that everybody wants to see. Yeah, Trevor Lawrence lived up to all the expectations.
Sensational freshman Trevor Lawrence, who Dabo Swinney also said has all the intangibles of a Deshaun Watson, yet he's bigger, stronger, and faster.
To me, it was clear, though. I seen this coming a couple of weeks ago. When you watch the Texas A&M game and you see Kelly Bryant's unwillingness to throw the ball down the field, and then when Sunshine comes in the game, the very first pass that he has, he throws it deep downfield outside to T. Higgins, and guess what? It's a touchdown.
Thanks for possessions.
Absolutely, Nick, but that's the difference with Trevor Lawrence as your quarterback versus Kelly Bryant.
And from what I've seen, and correct me if I'm wrong, Trevor Lawrence hasn't necessarily earned the starting role. I think that Dabo Swinney has decided in September that he wants to beat Alabama in the college football playoff or in the national championship. And in order to do that, the ceiling has to be raised. And the guy he thinks can do that is Trevor Lawrence.
Anytime you have a blue chip kid, a 5-star kid who comes out of high school football, enrolls in Clemson early. He was the #1 player in last year's rival and 247 scouting service. #1 player, #1 pro quarterback. You know this kid's coming to campus. You have to make sure that the coaches think that he's going to be the future and not the right now. And Kelly Bryant didn't do that in the spring, didn't do that to the summer. They were basically even the whole way.
Let's talk about Trevor Lawrence for a second. Talk to me about this guy. How good do you think he's going to be, and what is it about him, Trevor Lawrence, that makes him so special?
And what he's demonstrated through the first 4 games, and I don't have any doubt if he stays healthy, he'll leave here as, you know, one of the best we've ever had come through.
Clemson dominates, and they'll go to the national championship game for the 3rd time in the last 4 years.
But let's be honest, Trevor Lawrence is too good to not get on the field.
Lawrence fade ball.
In terms of his arm talent, it's as good as it gets.
Yes! Touchdown!
This kid has been unflappable.
The #1 in the country, Alabama. Why? Because again, we get back to Nick Saban.
Many believe it's just a fait accompli, that Alabama is going to win and there's no one else. I happen to believe that Ohio State is close. I don't think Clemson is.
Everyone's going to pick Alabama because Vegas is going to pick Alabama.
We expected this. We waited for it. We got it. Defense. Only a 3-man rush. Lawrence slips a shot downfield, and he has T. Higgins right there inside the 20.
He's going to throw and look long, wanting Ross. Ross makes a one-handed grab, and the Alabama 45.
Bring 5. Lawrence picks up the blitz, delivers, and is in another circus catch by Ross. Lawrence with the run coming, finds T. Higgins, touchdown. That kid cannot be 19 years old. Come on. The Tigers reclaim their crown by crushing Alabama.
I mean,
it looks like a 10-year NFL veteran.
I mean, he looks like he's been there his whole life.
Trevor Lawrence will have started 11 games this year. In the last 10, Clemson will have won by at least 20 points every game.
Trevor, you're the first true freshman quarterback to start and win a national championship game since 1985.
I mean, just my teammates, these coaches. It's not really about me being a freshman. It's just, you know, I'm just so grateful to get to be a part of a team like this in any of my 4 years, much less my freshman year. It's been unbelievable. The leadership of these seniors, these coaches, has been amazing. I've never been on a team that's been this focused and this driven.
Welcome to PTI, boys and girls. In today's episode, Trevor Lawrence looks like a pro, but we begin today with Clemson not simply beating, but pounding Alabama for the national championship last night, 44-16.
Okay, I'm not saying he's listen, he's tremendous. He got away with a few 50-50 throws because of great wide receiver play. He's going to be the best prospect since Andrew Luck.
Thank you.
When he comes out.
We saw those things. We looked at the schedule and we said, you know what? Clemson's a good team, but Alabama's on another level. What Dabo Swinney showed us last night is that he's been waiting all year long to coach against this man, Nick Saban, and the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Well, first of all, it was just a beatdown, you know, and we haven't seen Alabama play that poorly in a decade.
McShay, if Trevor Lawrence, right now, all circumstances being the same, were eligible to enter the NFL draft, where would he go?
He'd be the first quarterback taken, Rudy.
Almost every analyst suggests if Trevor Lawrence came out, he would be the first overall pick, undoubtedly.
But if they were, How would these three guys relate to each other in terms of draft order at this stage in the progression?
Trevor Lawrence would be the clear-cut #1.
I think he's one of the best prospects I have seen in a long time. But right now, he's a better prospect than Tua. He could be significantly better a year from now.
Because here we are 3 months later, and the hashtag #TankForTrevor is positioning itself for a 2-year run as a Twitter trending topic. Trevor Lawrence is the only true freshman to ever throw 30 touchdowns in a season, and he only started 11 games. He is the second true freshman to win a championship. The first of them completed 3 forward passes in the bowl game that sealed it. Trevor threw 3 touchdown passes against Nick Saban on Monday night. He's the only quarterback in the last 40 years of any age to beat 2 top 5 opponents by at least 25 points in a single season. He did it in the span of 11 days. In all 10 games that he started and played at least a half, his team won by at least 20 and by an average of 36. Trevor Lawrence just completed by far the best true freshman season any quarterback ever had, and he is set up to put together a run at Clemson unlike anything any quarterback has ever done.
Fashion? Is that what you're trying to say?
I didn't know if I'd ever have another guy like Deshaun. And he's everything Deshaun was. Everything, the intangibles, the commitment, the preparation, the poise, he's all of those things, but bigger. He's 6'6", and he's stronger.
And he was better at a younger age.
No teams. The Clemson Tigers, champions of the ACC. The Ohio State Buckeyes, champions of the Big Ten. Different personalities. Lawrence, of course, has been there, done that. Fields has waited with this opportunity. Dobbins in the clear. Off to the races, and they run him down. They cannot. Touchdown, Ohio State. Lawrence chased by Young. Heaves it downfield. Has Overton wide open. He tiptoes for a catch. Lawrence still has the ball. Scrambles, now looks to run. And long stride to carry it inside the 10. Some pressure, now they bail. Lawrence hit anyway. Sean Wade off the corner, and Lawrence is still down. Took a hard hit. That breaks the tackle and is still running. Lawrence in a foot race. Will they catch him? Touchdown Tigers! 67 yards. Proctor had a chance to stop him in French field goal range. And Lawrence thought run. Dumps it over the middle. ETN in space. ETN, 10, rings, touchdown Tigers! Lawrence, flushed, chased, fires to the end zone, catch made by Higgins, and they convert the 2 and build the lead to 6. And Clemson's going to make it 29 in a row.
Trevor, as we stood here, you just looked around, shook your head, trying to process what had just happened. How would you describe those last 60 minutes?
I have Ephesians 3:20, and it says, God can do immeasurably more than any of us can because of him within us. And that's just so true. I mean, all of us, me, what we did tonight, just, it ain't us. You know, it's about this program and who we are and just our brand. More than about football, but I really love this team.
Trevor Lawrence, tall and tough, and 25-0 as a college starter. Joe Burrow, the landslide winner of the Heisman Trophy, also perfect as a starter.
It was a perfect 25-0 entering this game. First quarter, Dan Lawrence dropping back, overthrowing T. Higgins. That would be a theme for him.
Overthrows in the ball, spinning, kind of miscommunication. Trevor Lawrence just didn't look like the Trevor Lawrence we've seen through the first 24 starts in his career.
Some of that had to do with Dave Aranda on the LSU side. Another opportunity there where he put too much on the pass to Higgins.
Yeah, this is a hot ball to Higgins.
Flushed again as Rue makes a cut, pays the price, lost the ball. Lawrence coughs it up at the end of the run. LSU's got the football, and they got one hand on the trophy. Derek Stingley Jr. continues a brilliant freshman campaign with a fumble recovery. Delpit caused it.
Yeah, Delpit knocks it out. That's the risk you take. And this defense from LSU took a lot of heat throughout much of the year, especially after the Ole Miss game. But these last 4 or 5 games.
And the supreme confidence, the swag of this team
get so busy looking for what's next, and, you know, a moment like this happens, and you gotta, man, it sucks, but you gotta look back on what you've done, and we've done some great things, and we got a lot more in store ahead, for sure.
We won 29 games in a row, but I know how we'll respond. We'll get back to work.
Looking back on it, I hope my legacy at Clemson is that I was a great teammate and a great person overall, just more than football, more than how I played each game, is just how I treated people. I want that to be the main thing that I'm known for, and I feel like over the last 3 years, that's the thing I've kept as a priority, is just treating people well and being a good person. So I hope that that's my legacy when I leave here.
I've been uncomfortable. That word uncomfortable will be an important one in all of our steps in our journey to bring equality.
People with platforms and voices, sometimes you just have to say things, and you have to raise your voice for what you believe and against what's wrong. Look at middle America, your everyday person. Everyone wants to be happy together in unison, live in a great country, and that's what everybody wants. So I mean, there has to be a way to get there. I just love football. I'm graduating in December. Planning on this being my last season. Just really excited to have one more with my brothers, with my teammates, my coaches that I've grown so close to over the past 3 years. Definitely respect everyone else's decision, but I mean, I'm a football player. I know I'm more than that, but at the end of the day, that's what I love to do.
In July, you made maybe the biggest play you've ever made at Tiger Stadium. You got engaged. What was the moment like?
It was awesome. I was super nervous. I told Marissa we were doing graduation pictures, so we went out on the field, and so that got us both dressed up. That kind of covered that base, and then we were out on the field, and we had one of our team photographers taking our picture. It seems a little bit cliche, but just Clemson in general has meant so much to both of us and our story.
What you are watching with Trevor Lawrence today is the best college football quarterback ever. And bruh, it ain't close. 34-1. Vince Young gets an argument. He threw 44 touchdown passes. Trevor has 88 and counting. Tim Tebow had 6 losses. Didn't play much as a freshman, nor did Vince Young. As a freshman, Trevor Lawrence walked on the field and humiliated Nick Saban 44-16. He was 19 years old. And it wasn't an average game. You see, Nick had 3 top 22 players in the draft that year on defense. Nick had 6 weeks to prepare for him. And the 19-year-old ate Nick Saban's defense, filled with elite NFL players alive. Trevor Lawrence is easily the greatest college football quarterback of all time. Just compare him to Vince Young and Tebow, who maybe go 2 and 3, or a Tommy Frazier. This is a 90 touchdown pass, unbelievable as a freshman. There has been no dip since. Oh, he lost to LSU. Yeah. A team that got 14 players, a record, drafted into the NFL, probably the greatest college football team of all time. The idea, Andrew Luck, I think, redshirted as a freshman. Trevor Lawrence threw 30 touchdowns, 4 picks, but it was the ACC. Let me remind you, he humiliated Nick Saban. You are looking at a kid, we'll never see this again. I don't think we'll ever see a kid this good. He will go into the NFL next year. And this will sound hyperbolic. He will be a top 12 quarterback in the NFL. Think I'm crazy? Justin Herbert already is.
With the first pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select